as a marketer, as a broker, you have to paint the picture so clearly for potential buyers to see it. They have to come in and they have to immediately in 1 second understand the space, understand the flow. They need to just feel good. That initial feeling is all that matters. So ever since, it's like staging is non-negotiable. Staging isn't when we feel we need it. Staging is a non-negotiable. Welcome back to Real Estate Investing in New York with me, Christina Kremidas. I have the team with me today, and you're going to be hearing some excellent updates for 2025. So stay tuned. We're covering everything here. This is Real Estate Investing in New York with Christina Kremidas, helping you achieve a future of financial success by making intelligent real estate investment decisions today. Welcome back. You guys know the team. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see everybody. This is Katherine Bender, Maryia Yakushevich, and Joseph Tesoriero, who I have with me today for this episode. We're going to talk about what's coming up for 2025, as well as a little bit of fun anecdotes from recent times to kick off the year. So to get started, guys, what's the vibe so far for 2025 in real estate? What's the energy? What are you feeling?
Overall, if we're talking about activity in the market, I feel like it's going to be more of a normal year because, like last year, for example, we got an inflow of clients in like December 2023, and then the year started off being really busy, and then it kind of died out closer to September, where this year I feel like it's going to be more well-paced, where people starting to buy probably like, in March, April, May, the normal timeline. So I feel like it's going to be a little bit more predictable. At least I hope so.
Yeah, I agree. I could see that. I could see it being like some more of a normal market, not a 22 market where things were crazy, not a 24 market where things were completely flat. So it's going to be a normal market. We're going to coast. And I'm hoping.
I agree with you guys. This year, I am hoping that momentum will continue to build. We found a lot of momentum in the early part of the year. We finally have amazing listings that are hitting the market. We have a good story already of a very successful listing. So people are ready. People are placing offers. We see our buyers sending offers in. And it finally feels like there's a nice energy in the market. We have 5 listings hitting just in January that we have been discussing with various sellers at all different price points. And we had our listing in Tribeca on West Broadway that we just listed for $2,675,000. And after all of the pre-market marketing that we did and the events that we hosted before we actually went live with the listing, we had a full price offer on the first day that the apartments hit the market. Yes. So this just goes to show that people are ready and people are feeling good, because even with the best marketing in the world, if the market is dead, you're still going to sit. But what I am seeing is that well-priced properties that are priced to true market value are getting scooped up. They're getting a lot of activity. And properties that are overpriced are still sitting. People don't have that confidence level right now to overbid for something or even bother going to see it if it's grossly overpriced.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't notice, but also the buyers that have come out this year so far have been more serious. Like, people are coming in with a game plan. They're not fucking around. Something I've noticed, so you just said you got the full ask offer on your apartment the first day. I heard of another story, a friend of mine, they put a place, Upper West Side, didn't even put it on the market yet. There was an apartment in the same building, a couple floors lower. They lost out on that bid. Found out that this apartment was coming on the market the day before it was going to hit the market. A full ask offer hit their inbox. So people aren't fucking around. They know what they want right now, and they're doing what they have to do to, no one's just messing around here. Let's put this low ball offer and see what happens. No, people know what area they want right now. They know where the price point is, and they're coming in aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. It's just there are not a lot of apartments on the market. Yeah, they're not. And when people see something that they like, they just make them off. because we're tired of telling people the same story. Oh, 2020, 2021 market, the mortgage rates were 2.5, 3%. So I think that people who even secure that mortgage rate are now ready to make the move. They need something bigger, they got kids, or they're empty nesters right now. So it's time for them to move. And I feel like no matter where the rates are, these people are the ones that are buying, they're selling now. So I feel like the market should be back this year.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you completely. I think that that all sounds totally correct. And rates are, we have a mortgage lender coming on actually in our upcoming episode that will be airing next week. So we'll be discussing everything rates with our girl, Carrie Morrison of Citizens Bank. But rates look like they're really not moving a ton, at least in the near future. This is what we're hearing. So I think that people are just going to kind of suck it up, like Joseph said,
Yeah.
just do what they need to do. They've been waiting in the wings for a very long. If you're selling, you've been waiting to sell for years now because you finally, it looks like you could get your price this year. If you've been waiting to buy, you're hoping that some inventory hits the market, which it is, thankfully, and it's all going to be absorbed. So hopefully good movement. This is what we're feeling. So how about your learning? What was your biggest learning experience last year? Did anyone have anything interesting?
Well, for me, I think it's reiterating. It's just like sometimes you just have to wait till the person is ready to make a move. Because I had a couple of buyers who missed on so many good opportunities, so many amazing deals, just because they just got on the market, they just started looking for the perfect apartment, and they missed on so many great options. But then by the time they actually were ready, they looked through 10, 15 really great apartments. That one that they placed an offer on was actually, completely overpriced. We had to get into a bidding war. But unfortunately, there is not much you can do. So my learning experience is just sometimes you have to let it flow. Just, get this experience in for your client. Explain, like, do your work still. Explain how the market is. Explain all the tendencies. But sometimes you just have to give it time.
Yeah, something that I've been telling my friends this too. I'm like, it's not about the rate. It's not about the purchase price. It's just when you're ready to buy, and a few of my friends that already bought agree with that. They're like, yeah, we bought in a high market with high interest rates. So we just wanted a house. We were ready to buy. Some people, like you said, you could show them you have the best deal in the world for them. They're not ready to buy. They're going to make an excuse. And sometimes you just can't take it personally.
Yeah.
And it also feels like when they just start their search, they're just thinking that they can pretty much low bid everyone and then like get a great deal. And that's why I feel like the first few properties they bid on usually they end up not getting it. But then further in the process, at that point, they're seeing that like there's no deals happening. Like the market is at the point where everything is priced really well. And so when they get to that property that they finally like again, at that point, they're already desperate and they just want to close and they're willing to overpay. And I think that's what's happening. And for me, it was also, I think, a learning experience in terms of when you see clients who are not getting the first property they really liked, and then you're thinking, oh, it's probably going to take a while for them to find a new property. But it happens pretty quickly. People do find what they like, and then they end up overpaying, but at the end of the day, it works out.
Yeah, it's always, if it's meant to be, it'll happen when it's
Yeah.
a situation. And 100% of the time, I would say it winds up working out better for them that they didn't get that last property and the second one that they won, they wind up loving more.
Yep. Yeah, very interesting. We had a good learning experience last year. It was a nice reminder that everything is sellable when you do it right. And I'll tell you what the story was for us, but and that it was another reminder that first impressions and staging is the most important thing that you can do with a listing. This was our Trump Tower listing. This is what I'm thinking of right now. And what a difficult time to sell in Trump Tower. Wow. I mean, the press around this figure was so polarized and very negative. And we had the apartment on the market for quite some time, coupled with the fact that the apartment was beautifully furnished, but to a very specific taste.
Yeah.
It was very opulent. It was very ornate, and the color scheme was very red and very purple at the same time. And it really freaked a lot of people out when they walked into the apartment. And it took a lot of conversations with the owner, between me and the owner of the property, explaining that even though this beautiful renovation and interior design were
The view is
Yes.
see.
Exactly. Despite all the wonderful things, it was a celebrity interior designer that did this project, and they spent almost $1 million on the renovation. And despite all of this, it doesn't matter that everything was brand new, but it wasn't to people's tastes. We had to boil it down, simplify the color scheme, make it neutral. And after a long time on the market, I convinced him to let me stage the apartment. So we staged the apartment and we took out everything. In fact, I got these pillows from the deal. I took these pillows home, these like stunning fur, pony fur, probably like red, gorgeous pillow. There were a couple of pieces that I have now thanks to this client. But we took everything out and it like broke his heart. He was like, I can't believe it, because we thought maybe we would even sell the place furnished. Like someone would want all of this beautiful stuff. We brought in all of the very, mainstream vanilla staging. And right after and I said, I promise you, if you let me stage this apartment, I will have an offer for you within 2 weeks. This is what I told him. And he's like, you better be telling me the truth. I'm like, oh, I am. So what happens right after we staged the apartment? The assassination attempt on Trump happened that weekend. And pretty much the building was on lockdown because this is his residence, this location. The security was through the roof. There were policemen. There was like CIA. Is that who protects the president?
Search just to go into the building.
Yes. So showings became way harder. You had to get searched before entering the building. And there were men with snipers
on the street. I remember
men with snipers in the middle of the street just waiting.
The guy was like, oh, you think that? He was like, look up. And you looked up, and every building on the roof, there was a sniper. Like, hands up.
Yeah. I'm like, how are we spinning this right now to sell this apartment? I'm like, look, it's the safest place you could be right now. Like, what else are we saying? Oh my gosh. But truly, thanks to the staging, we did have an offer that came in the week, that following week, right after we staged. My owner couldn't believe it. He's like, wow, I really can't believe it.
With staging?
They ended up, and you're right, to boot.
Yes.
They wanted it staged.
Yeah.
They bought it staged. So yes, oh my gosh, that was another good point. Everything's sellable. I will never forget, everything is sellable.
So we're always a buyer. There's something else too about that apartment was people couldn't understand that second bedroom was a bedroom. Like there's no door, and they're using it as an office. It was like, you just put the door up. That's all. And like it could easily go up right here. Explained it to them, and just people couldn't understand it.
They couldn't understand it.
And then as soon as we put a bed in there and a drape, they were like, oh yeah, this could totally be a bedroom. And you're like,
wild. Like, what a good reminder, right? That you really need to, like, as a marketer, as a broker, you have to paint the picture so clearly for potential buyers to see it. They have to come in and they have to immediately, in 1 second, understand the space, understand the flow, and they need to just feel good. That initial feeling is all that matters. So ever since, it's like staging is non-negotiable. Staging isn't when we feel we need it. Staging is a non-negotiable. Yeah. And that was a fun story that I think we had from 2024. We have some champagne together. We are actually celebrating something wonderful that we can't tell you just yet, but stay tuned.
In a couple of episodes.
We will tell you soon in a couple of episodes. So let's talk. Let's get. We're not going to get negative, but let's talk about like horror show deals, worst stories of recent times, or like craziest thing that happened with a client. Like anything fun that we can talk about.
Sure. I feel like
Maryia jumps right in.
everybody had a lot of bad experience, unfortunately, with new developments. We love new developments. They're amazing. Everybody loves everything. Brand new high rises, lots of glass, lots of metal. But these types of construction, unfortunately, lately, we've seen a lot of delays with them getting the certificate of occupancy, with the projects being finished. So that was actually my client's story. First, we were told by the listing agent and the sponsors team that we were about to close, and we were closing in March. And then it got delayed till May, and then it got delayed till July, and then it got pushed to October. And then the holidays are coming up, and my clients are all excited. They're like, oh my God, we're going to host a holiday party in our new apartment. That never happened. And the reason for that also was just because the certificate of occupancy didn't arrive in time. And the offering plan was contingent on getting the first closing in the building. And that didn't happen, of course, because the certificate of occupancy didn't arrive in time. And that resulted in the offering plan pretty much expiring. And that gave my clients a chance to walk away from the deal. And honestly, I don't blame them. It's been the whole year. Like, you can only imagine you were supposed to close in March, and now it's January, you still not close. So that unfortunately happened.
Very frustrating. So frustrating. We've seen that. You're so right. And deals fall through, and sponsors can really mess up. It's really we were surprised too when it happened. We said there's no way the sponsor is going to let it get this messed up. Like pushing till after. And just recently after, we're working on another transaction, and we're in a new development, and the sponsor is telling us, we're not going to close until X date. And it's after the date in the contract where our clients can walk away. And after seeing what happened last year with your client, Maryia, I responded to the email. We sent an email that specifically said, why so nonchalant about the fact that you're quoting a closing date, a time that this apartment is going to be ready, that is after the date in our contract that this buyer can walk away? Why are you acting like that's okay? And then they kind of responded with an answer like, oh no, we didn't say it's okay, but like this happens. And no, it's wild. It's almost like, there are some delays that are out of our control, out of the building's control, out of the sponsor's control. But sometimes it can be a management issue with how things are being executed in the building, and, the hopes that the buyer will just wait forever. And many buyers will wait for...
They're not investing back at this point. What am I going to do?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I had a funny story with a client. Well, they didn't really become a client, but I got a referral from a wonderful agent, and they sent over a nice, lovely couple who were considering purchasing an apartment. And whenever I treat all of my clients wonderfully, of course, but when you get a referral, there's like a little bit of a personal relationship there that already exists. So, I'm less formal, I would say. I'm not going to, talk about exclusivity and blah, blah, blah. Like, you already trust these people to a certain extent. And we had a really wonderful initial first conversation. I provided so much information to these people. I let them know how we were going to approach the offer, let them know what we were going to go in with, like what number was the right number to place this offer on, because they had already identified the property they liked. So I let them know the comparables, let them know the numbers. And I'm like drafting the offer. I'm like getting things ready, or like, getting ready to like start really working with these people. And they called me And they were like, thank you so much for all of this information. It was so helpful. They're like, so we think that what we want to do is we want like you to advise us, but we want to not have a broker. Like they literally they didn't want to use a broker. They had this like weird idea that they weren't sure if like paying for a broker was going to net them out in a better place than not using a broker, even though just the advice I had given them right from the beginning was already going to get this place for a better price than if they didn't use anybody and they just went straight to this seller. They're like, yeah, like we don't think we need someone. I'm like, what do you mean we don't think we need someone? I just told you all the answers. Like that's why you feel the way you feel, you know? And they're like, yeah. They're like, what about this? Like, we're gonna place the offer and then we're gonna let you know what they say, and then you can like let us know how to respond from there.
So how did you handle it?
I was like really perplexed. I'm like, because this was a referral. So I'm like, I need to like let these people off easy and let them know. So what I said to them was, I said, that's really interesting. That's a really interesting approach. I said, when you're at work, do you do work without getting paid? I'm like, do you do work without like any paycheck at all? Like when you go in, or do you like get paid for your work? I'm like, this is work for me. And they're like, oh, that's so interesting. They're like, okay.
When you like bring that up, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, how do I tell them really nicely that this is a very inappropriate request, you know, to like have me do work but not represent you. It was like really interesting. So I'm like, no, I have to tell them. I have to let them know, honestly. But it was just shocking because that's kind of rare. Like buyers will say, or sellers will say some, you know, any client will say some crazy things, but that was a little like, that one threw me. I'm like, wait, it took me a minute to realize they were just asking me to like work for free, totally for free. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I know what they were doing. They want to see how far they can take it.
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody wants to know what you know, right? Like everybody wants to know what you know, but I think that the takeaway is it's priceless to have an agent in your corner, negotiating for you, vouching for you, making sure there's just so much that you don't know.
Of course.
Which is what that happened on that phone call. Like there was so much that they didn't know, that they learned that they didn't know at that time. But
yeah, I mean, imagine trying as a buyer going to do a new development on your own. You've never bought a place before, and you're just like, you're gonna go negotiate. I mean, clients' heads spin when you explain to them how a new development works with sponsor fees and with all these closing costs.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars left on the table. You don't have a professional on it with you. Yeah.
You know, I haven't worked myself on the seller side with the sponsor, but like, I don't really think you're telling a direct buyer that like, yeah, these sponsor fees, you don't have to pay them. I'll negotiate them out for you.
Right.
No, I'm pretty sure they're going into this like, yeah, these are the fees because you're probably a premium product. You also have to pay these, just an extra, few extra fees that you got to pay. It just comes with getting a brand new apartment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're told.
Yep. Or the story about getting stuck in the hoist, viewing a new development. New developments. It's like this show. New developments will get you to a brand new development out in Brooklyn. Huge building, giant building. And we were going up, and it was in the very early stages of construction. We were getting an exclusive broker preview, and we head up into the building. And when it's very early in those stages of construction, like this one was, the elevators are not built yet and they're not operable yet, the internal elevators. So in order to get to the upstairs floors of the building, you take what's called a hoist, which is essentially just a cage that's manned manually by like an elevator, like attendant, someone on the construction team that just makes sure that this cage goes up and down properly to the floors that you're trying to get to. And you walk into this cage, it's like an exterior elevator hanging off the side of the building. You can see below you, you could see next to you, like you're just looking through a cage. And already just stepping into that, you're like, oh, gotta take a breath. Like, we're gonna be fine. And we were going up to like the 62nd floor or like something ridiculous. Yes. So the hoist actually gets stuck on us and goes out of service in between like the 60th and floor and the floor above. So we were very high up. And we got stuck in this cage for an extended period of time. And we were having an absolute heart attack. Like and like if there was a client on this hoist, like it would be over. It would be over for up in this client. Like I'm like, this is so we were so scared. I was so scared. I'm like talking to the hoist like worker. I'm like, ma'am, is there any % chance that like when this hoist comes back online that it's going to like drop? Like what's making it lock right now? I'm like, she's like, I'm not going to explain this to you because I just can't be bothered, but you're fine. I'm like, okay. I'm like really hoping that we're fine. It was so scary. And the fire department has come, and the fire department approaches our hoist. Somehow they use a different hoist and they get to the top where we need to be. And they come out with a ladder. So I'm like looking at that ladder like it's my lifeline. And he approaches the hoist with the ladder, straight up firefighter, like dressed in all the firefighting garb, comes to our cage, almost gives us a ladder, and then he gets like a message from the guy behind him, and he's like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to give you this ladder because it's unsafe. Literally, he's like, yeah, like we can't really have you because we were stuck in between floors. And he's like, yeah, it's really not safe if I just stick a ladder in there and you like ladder your way to the next floor. He's like, and I literally was like, sir, I pushed my way to the front of the cage and I'm like, sir, give me that ladder right now. I'm like, I need you to put that ladder in this cage right now. And he gave us the ladder and we like all ran out so quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me. It's actually not only the new constructions. That once happened to me. And I got stuck in the elevator with a client.
Oh my.
And it was summer, 80 degrees outside. And my client had a work interview right after. So he was wearing a suit. And we're getting stuck in this. We were getting stuck in this building in Williamsburg. And I mean, I normally don't panic. So I'm like, okay, it's going to take us some time. And this poor guy, like the AC went off. We were sweating in that elevator.
Oh my God.
I'm pushing this button. I'm calling the fire department. And I'm like, hey guys, do you think we still have oxygen? Everybody was panicking. We were having difficulty breathing.
How long were you?
So that was for about 50 minutes.
I did 50?
50 minutes.
Oh my God. I remember you told me.
Yeah, all right. And we were literally probably like 10 inches below the floor level because when they opened the elevator, we could easily get out. And they were just like holding us by our elbows. They were just, okay, guys, just get out. So my poor client was like, best of luck. She has the work interview. I hope it goes better than the showing.
So we'll be in contact about that.
You got a job.
He got
You got the job.
What about the apartment? Did he get it?
Take that apartment. It's a pretty grand apartment. He still worked with me after that. But I was always wondering before. I was like, what if that happens? So actually, yeah, one time that
You would manifest. Anything you think ends up happening. Maria is like the most powerful manifester. Something pops into Maria's head. She'll be like, what if that? And I'll hear her say something out loud. I'm like, thanks, Maria. You just literally caused, like a week later, we're like, who would have thought that just happened? Maria does that. Yeah.
so only the positive thinking from now.
We're only Maria thinking positive things. Positive thoughts. So Joe, it's your turn.
Yeah. So I had a buyer. We went into contracts. Very smooth deal.
They're never smooth.
Went into contract smoothly. It was like, wow, this is.
That was the red flag.
Yeah, I should have known. It's never an easy deal. So we're in contract. Everything's flowing smoothly. I get a phone call. I'm like out to eat with my wife one night, and the girl's just like, yeah, I don't want the apartment anymore. I'm like, doesn't work like that. What do you mean? I don't want this. I can't move forward with it. I'm not moving forward with it. I'm like, look, I'm here for you. I'm representing you. I'll be honest. I don't know how we're going to do this without you losing all of your deposit at least. She's like, no, I have to get my deposit back. I'm like, you signed a contract that, we're not contingent. I don't know. Let's see what we could do. Turns out she had the attorney that we had on the deal was great. wound up getting her 90% of her deposit back.
Oh, they did
And we
some of it?
Yeah, they kept a little bit of it. But I mean, we were 2 months into it at that point. I was like, I didn't even know it was possible. But yeah, no, the deal's never closed until it's closed. And she was able to get out of it, even though she had a signed contract, and she was able to get almost all of her deposit back.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
If she didn't get her deposit back, how much would she have lost?
95 grand. For like 95,000, yeah.
Yeah, which is not a small amount of money to lose.
Yeah.
Wild. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, this is not for our listeners to think that you can do that. But if you use our referred attorney, they're gonna do anything you need. I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah, we were like, oh man, this is crazy. That was actually I hadn't really seen that happen. Like just change of heart.
No, yeah, I don't even know how we were able to get out of this. Yeah, that's why I really didn't want to bring up that one too. It's like, I don't want people to think they could do that.
Yeah.
Getting the 90 to will get your deposit. Yeah, sorry, attorneys and mortgage lenders, and then you could do anything.
Exactly. You could literally do anything. So it was a fun episode. Yeah. We need to do this more often. That's what we said last year. And it was 365 days later before I got everything back in the same room again.
And actually last year,
It was. Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone have any special goals for 2025? What are we looking to do this year?
I am.
I honestly think that we're in great place. Our numbers are amazing. Past 2 years we were doing great, even though the market was not the best. So yeah, just a thought. We always keep saying, oh, let's double our numbers, let's triple our numbers. And then I actually hired a career coach, and the healthy number is it has to be 1.5 of the numbers that you had lost.
That's like the guideline they said?
That's the guideline. So whatever is gonna come out too, I think the goal is to just enjoy ourselves more, to have an easier time, to have more, smooth deals, clients who are our friends, clients who we enjoy working with. Overall, I think that we have a good dynamic going on. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Best team.
yeah, let's keep this going.
Yes.
Getting all the deals we can this year.
Yeah. Definitely. I love that, Maryia. That's great.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Joe?
As similar. I mean, little different, but same thing of like every year it's like I want to be able to double the numbers of what I did last year. And obviously as you start making more, the harder that gets.
Right.
So it's just learning, the goal is to learn new things for this business that could help bring me new business to keep us scaling.
Love that. I love that. Yeah, definitely. I'm interested in being selective about who we're working with, making sure we're working with people that are providing the same respect that we give to our clients. We give our clients the most. We give our all. We are always on. We really do everything we can to prioritize every single one of our clients. So we need to be getting that respect in return, So I think that working with the clientele that we've been engaging with is definitely going to be nice to continue in 2025. Just people that value our expertise, that value our specialization, I get, we have so many clients where they're like, thank you so much for all of that information. We're going to do it ourselves anyway. And then they kill the deal, like, thank you so much for all of this information, but I don't want to go in with that offer that you recommended. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And they lose it. They lose it and then they lose it again and they lose it again. And before we know it, the year's over and we haven't even done business with this person. So, I think we've been very lucky, thankfully, because of the content that we put out there and because of everything that we do, we attract clientele who appreciate it.
I totally agree. There are so many clients who turn to be my friends in the end of the deal. It's funny, like with some of them, we're just grabbing drinks or grabbing lunch after every showing. Yeah, like with one of my clients, who is now my friend, we're going to Aspen soon.
Oh my God.
And then how many clients did you invite to your holiday party?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this is the best career one can choose because this is the best opportunity to meet the best people.
Yeah.
Right? And you're always exposed, like you're always getting this new connections, expanding your network. So that's part of it. That's why I love my job so much.
Yeah. And it keeps the pressure high because, for example, like once you're friendly with a client, now it's like you can't have them ask you for stuff. Like now it's awkward. Like you really need to be ahead. You need to be like absolutely perfect because it's like now we're friendly. So it's like you don't want them to wait for it. You don't want them to have to ask you for anything. So you're always, beyond 100%. But it's nice, it's like it's embarrassing to like mess up in front of someone that you're friends with,
Oh yeah, for sure.
right? So it's like you're always completely perfect, but I think it's nice. It's so nice, right? To meet good people and to keep in touch with them and to just have good friends that come out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm looking forward to more of that in 2025
Yeah.
for sure. We'll do this again. But definitely before the end of the year. Hopefully, maybe we'll do a second half regroup together and we'll do something similar. But thank you guys for your time and thank you to our audience. I hope that our audience enjoyed. And stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to be talking all things mortgage, interest rates with one of my most trusted loan officers. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for being here. We'll see you soon.
thanks, guys.